In this video, I'm going to share with you my top gear list for backpackers who are just starting out. Well, welcome folks to another episode here at Gideon's Tactical. Really excited to talk you through this video, and I really hope that this video throughout the next few minutes will really not only entertain but give you data points if you're wanting to get into backpacking. You're starting out, and some of these tips and some of these gear items will be great for veterans as well. But those of you who you're really wanting to get in the outdoors, you're wanting to go and explore adventures and get away from civilization, get away from the beaten path. You're tired of car camping, you're tired of just day hikes, and you want to go miles and miles. Maybe you want to do through hiking, maybe you want to do up to a location and camp for a couple days and hang out. That this will give you some good ideas and things to look for, and just gear that's worked for me. That's all this is. This is you and me hanging around the campfire talking about how to best enjoy a backpacking trip. You've never done it before, and I just want to share with you the things that I take and why I take them, and how they can best help you enjoy that outdoor experience of getting into the outdoors and backpacking, carrying all your gear with you, leaving the car, leaving civilization, and getting out into the backcountry. So that's the goal with this video. Throughout this video, I will have links over to lots of different places, so you don't have to necessarily write down and remember all this stuff we're talking about. I have links over to Amazon, Blade HQ, Mystery Ranch, backcountry.com, and even Knock Around Sunglass Company if you need to protect those eyes when you are in that backcountry hiking and camping and backpacking. All those help us just continue to make content, make videos just like this. So if anything connects with you, thank you for using those hyperlinks. It helps us out and continue to do what we do. So with that, let's get to it and share the gear that I would recommend to a beginning backpacker. All right, so guys, we're gonna jump right into it with cookware. You gotta be able to boil water for dehydrated meals, purifying the water as well if you're near a water source and you don't wanna constantly be using your water purification that we'll talk about in a little bit, as well as if you're bringing up food to cook when you're backpacking. If you are bringing some eggs or bacon or, something that you're wanting to cook up on the trail when you're going to be doing your backpacking trip. So you got to have something that has a good cook system that really works well, but again, isn't going to break the bank because you're a new beginning backpacker. You don't need to be, you're trying to find where to spend the money wisely. So the two things I'm going to suggest to you, first off, is the MSR Pocket Rocket 2.0. Epic, $45. This thing is awesome. Collapsed down to almost nothing. Will fit in almost any type of cookware that you decide to go with, like pots and pans or cups or mugs or whatever. It has enough space inside the little plastic container for a very small mini Bic lighter or a spark wheel or even a small fire steel from Light My Fire. So there's ways that you can carry both the ignition system as well as the flame element itself. These things work great. We had the original for years, and now I've had about a year's worth of work with this 2.0 version, and I'm loving every minute of it. And now to cook your food in, what would you use? Well, what I tend to take with me, it's not going to break the bank at about $45, has a lot of capability, is the GSI Soloist series. Now they have a couple different options out there. The one that I have, I believe they call their Pinnacle. And that one is about $45, as I said, and that's going to be a pot that has a collapsible arm that is fantastic, that will be able to boil quite a bit of water, which is great, more than 32 ounces, which is awesome. So if you have 2 or 3 people with you, it's a great system for that, to boil water for dehydrated meals or coffee or whatever it may be. It is Teflon coated. I believe the body is aluminum, so it's lightweight, and then it's also going to come with a stuff sack that has been treated to be waterproof, so you can actually use that as like a second container just to hold water or to wash and clean your dishes with. So that's a really cool little bonus feature that you don't see in a lot of companies. And then we'll come with a little spork. They've recently upgraded the spork. They've recently upgraded the pot. So now the pot has graduations. The spork is a little bit stronger from the last model. And then you'll also get a lid for the pot that it can be a strainer, it can be a pour system, and it can be a lid for the cup that they give you that's kind of more like a bowl. It's pretty wide. I mean, it's quite wide, but it has a little koozie, ring around it. You can absolutely pour soup or coffee in there. I've done both, and it works fantastic. And has a lot of extra space kind of in the middle for that MSR Pocket Rocket stove, as well as I can even get a small fuel pod all contained inside the Soloist. So that GSI produces that, and for under $50, you're getting a really good product that I use a lot and that I recommend to people just starting out in backpacking. Now, I'll just interject here real quick that I don't really like sporks in general. They're just like one piece. I like to have a knife as an option. I like long, so I can get deep into deep dehydrated meals. I'm not making my hands all nasty and sticky. I would purchase, along with the Soloist, the Yuko Switch Spork. This thing can be up to 10 inches long or compact down and would fit inside the Soloist. It does have a dedicated spoon, knife, and fork that are all options that you can have, and it's like, I don't know, $5. Really lightweight, good polymer material, and is a great option that will be, that again can be compact or extend and be a full size for that can give you 10 inches of reach when you're cooking over a fire, cooking over your stove, or eating out of dehydrated meals. So I would add that to your cooking setup. Next up, packs, right? You got to carry all your gear up, and you might be looking, and there's so many options out there. You can go from under $100 if you go with some no-name brands, all the way up to like $500 for a backpack. So what literage is good? What brands do I look for? And particularly when you're on that budget, you're beginning, you're just starting out, you don't have $3,000 to buy all your gear in one season. You're going to be upgrading as years go by. What are the ones that I would recommend and point you in the right direction? I have several friends who are going to be backpacking this year. These are the ones that I recommended to them to be like, go check these out. These are the ones I can recommend to you. So the first one are the KELTY models that are in the Red Wing and Coyote series. Now the Red Wing 50, I believe, is the biggest Red Wing. That for me is too small. For me, my recommendation would go with 60-liter packs. Those seem to be the best if you're not carrying camera equipment and you're not carrying a bunch of stuff to review. I have to go much bigger because I'm carrying so much extra stuff with me. But if KELTY is a great brand. I've reviewed tons of their products. I'm very happy with them. They're very ergonomic. They're a great blend of lightweight, but also some strength, and very comfortable packs. And so I would look at the Coyote. I believe they have a 60, 65, and then they have an 80, and they even have like a 110, and I think that might be like the Red Cloud or something. They're all in the same yoke system. They're all in the same kind of layout. So those would be the ones that I could recommend to you. Those will fluctuate anywhere between like $140 and like $200. Just kind of depends on who, what, when, where, why. They do make most of those in male and female versions, which is great as well. But I would look for right around that like 60 to 65 literage would be great for a multi-day backpacking trip, and you're going to get a good blend of strength but also lightweight capability. Now another option that have a little bit different features are the Mountainsmith Apex series. They have it in a 60, they have it in an 80, and I believe they have it even in 100, I believe, or at least they used to. And they're transitioning over to a new design. I've had the old design for a long time and love it. They're heavy duty. The new ones are a little bit lighter weight, but they're like a robotic, is what they call it, material. I have a Mayhem right here, actually 45, that I'm testing out. So it's kind of the same idea, but they have a yoke system, adjustable, and we have really seen good results, and those will all be from about 200 to like 150 depending on the literage that you go with. But that would be another one that you're still staying under $200, but you're getting a lot of capability from really well-known established companies. So you're not going to say like Mystery Ranch or Osprey or some of these other, even Gregory, companies that are, their backpacks that are 60 liters are usually like $250 to $300. You don't have to go that high and still get great packs that will carry good loads and last you for years. So that's who I look at, is Mountainsmith or KELTY, and those two designs. And if you really want to go old school, I'm testing one out this year, and so far I've been happy with it. KELTY still does make an external frame pack in a 65 liter and in a 90 liter. I have the 90 liter version, and so far I'm loving it. I'll do a full review soon, but that's another option for you. Again, these will all be below, but those are the packs I would look at. Okay, so if you're in the US, when it comes to water purification, I would look at the Sawyer products. Sawyer brand is really our go-to. It won't break the bank. I've been saying that a lot, obviously. It's kind of one of the main ideas for new backpackers. I get it. You got to figure out where you're going to spend all your money. You can't go be dropping hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all your gear the first couple years out. You're going to be looking for things that produce good results without being, $100 for a water purifier. You don't have to do that. So Sawyer brand has a lot going on. They have a lot of different options. I would go with their largest water purification system and get their full kit. What that will give you is not only the ability to purify, I believe, over the life of the filter up to 1 million gallons. No joke, 1 million gallons of water, as long as it doesn't have like viruses, which are overseas problems. Here in the US, we don't really have to worry about that. It'll filter out all the bacteria and different things like that, giardia, and things that you would get sick drinking out of rivers and streams and lakes. But what it will also come with are dirty bags that you put your dirty water in. It'll come with a mesh bag that you then can hang. You can then gravity drip this thing, and this gravity drip is awesome. It's a fast flow. It works really well, has a lot of good features, and it's really compact and really lightweight. So it's very, very intuitive. And isn't going to cost a lot, at like between $30 and $40, and it will purify everything you need, and you can use it by yourself or easily use it for up to, I would say, 4 to 6 people, no problem. And that's your one system to purify your water. It won't be that big a deal. So I really recommend that model as the option for when you're looking for water purification in the backcountry. Your shelters, tents, what are you going to do? What are you looking at? Well, for me, I'm looking for value to performance, and what can I get? And usually most people aren't going backpacking by themselves. If you are, there are options for that, but most people, you know, you're going in tandem. Maybe you and a loved one, you and your kid, you and a buddy, you know, or multiple people. So really what I found works really well for me, and what I would recommend to a lot of people is first off, the Mountain Smith Bear Creek series. They have a 2-person, 3-person, and 4-person size. And when I was filming this, they had the 2-person for $107, and it will come with a rainfly, vestibule, 2-man tent, bathtub bottom, and an included footprint that you can either use with the entire system or take all the guts out with the actual tent body and just use the rain cover and the floor, the footprint, as an ultralight option. If you're not really worried about bugs and you're not worried about like super heavy downpours, that's a great option. So it has multiple versatile levels and at a great price point. So I really like them. They say they're a 2-season tent. I mean, it just means it has more mesh than a 3-season tent. Maybe like 2 degrees is going to be different in your tents depending with those type of things. What I've found between 2-season and 3-season tents, that's just my personal opinion and what I've discovered. I mean, it's built well, has good lines, good design. You can sit up in it. The 3-man, really, like for me, I'm a big guy, 6'2", and my buddy Brian, who is 6'6", he and I were able to sleep in there, and we could have like a child in between us or like a dog. It wouldn't really be intuitive for 3 big, full adult males. It would be best for if you had a small child and a small family. It would work for that. I would probably go with the 4-man, but for 2 guys, we had plenty of room. We had a whole, like, probably, I don't know, 24-inch gap between us that we could throw our gear and kind of move around and weren't just like rubbing shoulders in the tent. And another aspect is the door is front facing, so you don't have to climb over each other to get out. That's another big plus. Some other tents that are out there don't offer that. They're on the side, and so somebody on the far wall would have to climb over the other person in the middle of the night if they need to get out, go to the bathroom, do whatever they got to do. So that's why I really like the Mountain Smith Bear Creek series. The 2-man is pretty good. I think total weight is like 5 pounds 2 ounces, and then the 3-man I think is maybe like 6 pounds. But for everything I'm getting with what I just described to you, it's very competitive to what else is out there and a great price point. Now KELTY, I've had their Salida series, and I really like those. We've used those a lot. I have a 1-man that I purchased that's a great 1-man tent, but I believe they are discontinuing that because they've re-upped their entire line recently. And so the one drawback to the Salida 2 and the Salida series that I've seen is that it does have that side door, so you have to climb over each other if you're having more than one person in the tent. That's a drawback, but they are great options, but they won't come with the footprint either. You have to purchase that separately. That adds to the weight, all those things. So that's why, again, I like the Mountain Smith first, but the Salidas, if they're still available and you can find one, great. The new series of KELTYs just look very similar to them, maybe just some slightly different features. One other brand that I would recommend taking a look at are the Alps brand, and particularly the Lynx series. There are literally like over 1,000 reviews on Amazon for these tents in the Lynx series from Alps, with I think it gets an overall rating of like 4.7. I have not personally used one, but I've heard great things from other people that I've talked to that have used them and swear by them, and they're really inexpensive at under $100. Usually you can get 1-man, 2-man, or 3-man sizes in those Lynx. So that's another option. I'll have all those below. For me personally, of all of them that I'm suggesting to you, I'm still going to go with the Mountain Creek Bear Creek series for my first top choice when you are looking at backpacking tents. and you're new to the scene and you're not quite ready to drop $300, $400, $600 on ultralight tents. Now I want to talk to you about tarps real quick. Now this is something that some people are just going to balk at and be like, no, it's too much weight, I don't want to carry it. For me, where I live, it makes sense. We live in the Rocky Mountains. We're at altitude. Every time we go backpacking, we're between like 8,000 and 10,000 feet usually where we're camping, and we get hit with rainstorms, and you can get either a couple that come through, you know, downpour for 20 minutes, stop for an hour, downpour for another 10, stop for, and then maybe rain for another 30 minutes, stop. Or it could, I've been on a couple trips where we got like 6 hours of rain and it sucked because we basically were stuck in our tents, and it just wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable, or you're standing out like trying to just stand and talk to each other under a tree for hours on end, and that's not enjoyable, particularly when you've camped up, gone up somewhere, and you're enjoying yourself. So tarps are valuable to me. The two that I would recommend looking into is, first off, the Mountain Shade tarp from Mountain Smith. You're hearing a lot of Mountain Smith products. I bought a lot of these products. They have sent me in the past some of them to test out and review. I recommend them to friends and family, people who are close to me, my brother, my dad, other people like that, because they produce a lot of good results and they produce good quality products at decent prices. So this Mountain Shade is usually between 50 and 60 bucks. I believe it's like a 10 by 10, has a couple different ways that you can hang it, comes with its own cordage. We've used them on multiple backpacking trips and really enjoyed it, and will work great for about 4 people. If you have about 4 people in your crew or less, that will be a great kind of setup, and you can attach it all kinds of different ways, and really works well and is lightweight to boot. And many people, depending on their level of commitment and wanting to cut down on weight or cut costs, you can easily get 3 people under that sleeping. If you're just going to sleep underneath, you know, on a tarp, maybe you buy a $10 tarp from Walmart, throw that on the ground. You could easily do that. Tyvek is another option. You could sleep underneath that if you're not too worried about bugs or weather elements coming in from the sides. Now, if you want to upgrade a little bit and look at possibly different options, they have lightweight and heavy duty options, is the AquaQuest tarps. They have all kinds of different sizes, I think from 9 all the way up to 20 feet square, which is awesome. Or not square, sorry, like 20 feet by 10 feet. They have like 10 by 10s, they have 12 by 12s, and 15 by 15, and they have all kinds of options out there. And they have super heavy duty thick ones, and they have lightweight ones as well, with lots of lashing options. Great to look at. I have a few myself. That I have the heavy duty ones, so I don't take them backpacking because they're too heavy, but the heavy duty ones are really well built and have a lot of lashing points as well. And then again, you can look at their light duty options that they do offer to you. Okay, so now we're going to talk about sleeping. Now, I'm not going to go into sleeping bags themselves. There's so many out there. I haven't tested a lot of them. And a lot of it is preference. You know, do you need a long? Do you need a short? How cold do you sleep? Some people, you know, they can go with 55-degree bags at 55 degrees, and it's not a big deal. Some people, you know, they're like, run really cold. I tend to run really cold. I'm totally layered up. Just so you know, when it comes to sleeping bag ratings, that's supposed to be when you have socks, long johns, a long sleeve shirt, and a hat on, like a beanie. That's how you're supposed to be, like, survivable, not comfortability. There's a difference between a comfortability rating and a survivability rating with sleeping bags. So this is my rule of thumb. If you know, like for us, when we go backpacking at night, I know it's going to get between like 45 and 35 degrees. It can float anywhere in there when we go backpacking up in the high country. So I know that a 35-degree bag is not going to cut it. I go to at least 10 below. So a 25-degree bag, and if I can go even lower than that, I'll try and get like a 20 or a 15-degree bag. So that's what I carry. I believe I have a 15-degree bag right now. That's a down bag. For my backpacking, but I do not trust those ratings. I would say whatever temperature you think it might be, try and go at least 10, if not 15 degrees lower, and that will be better suited for you. But 2 items that I love and recommend to everybody are the Climate sleeping pads. I love these sleeping pads. They have lightweight, extra wide, extra thick, insulated. They have every flavor under the sun. My personal preference when I go backpacking is the regular version. It's the 72 inches by, I believe, 22 inches in wide. It's insulated because, again, I'm a wuss and I'm always cold at night, and that tends to keep me up, and I wake up all through the night, so I want as much heat retention as possible. The insulated versions do work. They absolutely help retain your heat and send it back to your body instead of having it soak into the ground. But there's lots of options out there. Go check them out. Everywhere from between 50 bucks and like $100 is what they have. They have 2-man versions for car camping and that type of thing. I mean, they've got all kinds of stuff, but I love them, and I can sleep much better having transferred over to climate pads in the last 5 years than before that, when I would just do old school like Thermarest blow-ups or even the foam roll mats. These are much better. Climate pads are amazing. And with that, I would also say the Sea to Summit, I believe it's their, I can't remember the name of the pillow, the it's not AeroPress, but you know what I mean, it's like Aero something, annotated in. That pillow is amazing because it's not just slick plastic that tends to like slide out of your sleeping bag. It is full. You can, you know, deflate it super fast, compacts down, super lightweight. It's going to cost you a pretty penny though, at about $30, but it works, and it has, depending on which version you get, they will have cloth on it, so it'll catch your head and won't feel like you're, you know, trying to sleep on a beach ball. So that's something that I would take a look at as well. And then again, just look around, see what works for you. For sleeping bags, there's so many options that I don't, and comfortability ratings are so different that I don't feel comfortable saying go buy this particular one when there's so many good options out there for $100 or less. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick tool option for you here. Knives and those edged tools are our bread and butter here, so I got to at least throw in a couple for you that I would take a look at. I always recommend people have some sort of edge tool when they go in the backcountry. It's better to do it than have nothing. And what I would recommend to you, if you think you're going to be building a fire in any way, shape, or form, you may want to practice, you know, shelter building, or you're going to do maybe the tarps and you just want to cut off a dead branch to use as a mounting point for the tarp. The Bahco Laplander saw is a fantastic 7-inch folding saw, weighs about 6 ounces, going to cost you $20 to $25. Fantastic, extremely well, high valued. Use it all the time. It's super compact, it won't break the bank, and you'll get a lot of work done, regardless if it's collecting fuel for the fire, if you're doing fire, or if you're needing to cut branches to even build a bridge. We've done that once or twice as well, to get a bridge across that's kind of collapsed like a bunch of logs over a deep creek. We've absolutely used saws to do that. We usually carry multiple different ones, but the Bahco is a great option for you. And then I would go with a Mora. You can do a heavy-duty companion or the Mora Cans Bowl. Heavy-duty companion, about $18, Swedish-made. The Cans Bowl is like $35. That one will have a 90-degree spine and a little bit higher quality steel, depending on what you're looking for, and a little bit different sheath options, but those are both $35 to $18. Great little compact fixed blade. Well, guys, coming to the end here, I mean, I could go down the rabbit hole with so much gear. Headlamps, and I could do pocket knives, and I could do utensil. I mean, just go on and on and on. And I have so many reviews on that, so go through, dig through if there's some aspects that you might be interested in. But I always encourage beginning backpackers to make sure that they have a good pair of shoes. There's so many good brands out there, but break them in. Watch our other video that talks about the mistakes that new backpackers tend to make. But get yourself a really good set of shoes. Get yourself a good coat, raincoat, that will be able to be a good wind blocker and those type of things. And just expect the unexpected. You never know what you're going to get when you go into the backcountry and you don't have a vehicle that you can jump into and bail out when you are car camping. There's a big difference. So just expect the unexpected and try to prepare as best you can and have a good time. And it'll be a blast. It'll be awesome, and you'll have a great time doing it with friends and family. So guys, I hope this video and this list of gear that I recommend to new backpackers has helped you out. Please, love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you have ideas, suggestions, maybe gear that I missed that you have questions about, I'll try and do my best to answer them. That's what we always try to do here at the channel. I invite you to subscribe if you're not a current subscriber. Throwing out videos like this every single week. You current subscribers are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us week in, week out. Make sure you hit that bell icon so the videos show up in your news feed. And finally, guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.